Ryan, some improvement from your group. Just overall, what did you think of their performance on Friday?
I thought we played hard. I liked what we were doing from a communication standpoint, pre-snap and in between series. I thought we played physical at times. The amount of mental errors were way down. After grading the tape, thought we fought hard all the way through and just didn't make enough plays at the end there to win the game and close it out. They definitely think it's something we can build off of. There's a lot of good things on the tape. A lot of good lessons learned, and I think we're starting to develop an identity as a defense.
What is that identity, in your opinion?
Just on who's out there, what the structure kind of looks like, kind of maybe where we need to focus more of our time from a schematic standpoint, but still having the ability to be multiple and so just building, like I said, building off of Friday night.
Ryan, some personnel changes with Seth and Taz and Kirby. What went into that, and what do you think of what they give you that you maybe hadn't had?
Just the personnel changes happened just throughout a couple weeks of practice, and now you got game tape to evaluate, and so we just felt like the people we had out there gave us the best chance to have success Friday night, and so that's why they were out there.
Was that a difficult conversation with someone like Tony, who's a super senior captain? I guess how did that kind of go with him?
Yeah, Tony's great. He's a team captain. He's all about what's best for the team, and that week that's what was the best for us at that time, and it showed. Like Taz did a great job while he was in there, and then when Tony was in there, he did a great job as well, and just overall improved definitely from a performance standpoint. In the secondary specifically. So,
with Seth, what did you maybe see when evaluating the game film from the first few weeks, maybe in practice, where
just consistency, not only with the way he plays, his effort, but also with the consistently doing his job, time in and time out. That's been a huge point of emphasis for us as a program. And Seth has been an example of that, and it showed on game day. I thought Seth grew up Friday night, and it was good to see. Good to feel it on the sidelines. You feel the energy on the sidelines when he was making plays, and I'm looking forward to his growth, throughout the season.
How much can a game like that help a young guy, just maybe to see and the light bulb go off, is like, hey, he can produce at that level?
Yeah, I think it's huge. You always have questions until you go out there and do it, and so for him to practice the way he does, and then to go out and perform the way he did Friday night. And there's still obviously plays out there that we want back, him specifically, but for him to play the way he did with the way he prepares was good to see.
Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you on the sideline?
Yeah.
What went, you have been in the box?
Yeah.
What went into that change?
My career as a play caller, I've been on the sideline primarily. I felt like it was time for me to go down there. I felt more comfortable. It's obviously a lot easier to communicate in person with everybody, not just with your position group. And then, for me, it's just the feel of the game. You can feel ebbs and flows and momentum changes, whereas in the box sometimes you can't. So I felt like I was back to my comfort zone as a play caller, and so I'll be down on the field moving forward.
For Maryland's last touchdown, did you feel like you guys got away from something that you were doing the first 55 minutes or whatever?
The last touchdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had on that specific play, we had an ME, so that contributed to it. And then, the back made a heck of a play. Made a couple guys miss that are some of our better tacklers. And we just didn't make enough plays there at the end.
What do you see out of Purdue offensively?
Obviously,
Bell.
yeah. Coach Brom has throughout his career been a great offensive mind and play caller. They've got talent across the board. They got an offensive line that you can tell is well coached and works well together. They don't tip their hat on what they're doing too often. They got a tight end that is versatile, can be an in line tight end and block, and also create mismatch problems in the throw game. Obviously, they got a plethora of receivers that can go and make plays for them. You know, obviously the number 3 got dinged up last week, but we got to prepare like he's available. And then they got 2 quarterbacks that they feel comfortable with. You know, obviously the backup they put in against Notre Dame with 8 minutes to go and down by 7 points. So they obviously have a lot of confidence in him and what he's able to do with his arm talent. And so we're gonna have our work cut out for us. And as a staff, we're putting together the game plan right now, and we're looking forward to a good week of practice.
Ryan, you talked about having fewer mental errors this week. In 6 days, really, how did you cut those down? Was there, I guess, how'd that happen?
Some of it was scheme oriented, some of it's personnel oriented, and just marrying the two of again, what gives us the best chance to be successful on game day and to put our team in position to go win it. And so, again, we're learning as we kind of go, who we are, on our side of the ball for sure. And like I said, I think Friday night is something we can build on.
Seth mentioned that on his forced fumble, him and Johnny kind of like held the guy up. Is that an instinctual thing? Is it taught? Like, I guess, how do you find that line between just making the tackle and obviously making a really big play?
Yeah, I think that's it goes in 2 parts. I think you obviously got to have a heads-up player, a headsy guy, to know where the football is and how to get it out. And we preach takeaways and we talk takeaways throughout the week, and we teach how to take the ball away. But to do it in game is a lot of that is on the player. And so he made a sound tackle. He knew where the football was and then made a violent attempt to rip it out. It was crazy because you couldn't even really tell because of just where the tackle happened and where we are on the sideline. I mean, sure, the official was sitting right there didn't see it. But when he came up with it, Coach B is big on trust and in the program, and he's sitting there looking at us and tells Coach B, I pulled it out. So Coach B listened. We hadn't had a replay from up top yet. We obviously on the scoreboard didn't see it yet. But Coach, to his credit, trusted what was coming out of Seth's mouth, and obviously it worked in our favor.
Some packages with Alec McCarron in the game. What does he give you, and what did that package give you guys?
It wasn't just a certain package. It was just his turn to play, really, in the rotation with him and Tariq. Both those guys are headsy players and understand what we're doing schematically. So I think that's just a way to keep that position fresh. And when Alec was in there, he did a good job.
Did you feel like your front felt like Rod Perry had some disruptive moments?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny had a big moment. Like what clicked for those guys, do you think, up front? 'Cause it felt like they were just more disruptive. I
think it's part in how they played, and part us putting them in positions to go play freely. I just think that's part of the learning each other is just what are they good at? How can we best put them in positions that are suited to their strengths? And I think that's something we could build on from Friday night.
2 for 10. They were 2 for 10 on third down tonight. What did you feel like was effective in getting off the field? And when you dropped 8, it seemed like that was very effective for you guys, especially in coverage.
Yeah, we dropped 8 when it was like 3rd and extra long.
Right.
So obviously 3rd and extra long is your friend, right? So I just think it's a combination of being good on 1st and 2nd down, to get them in those 3rd and manageables on our side, and then just guys getting clued into what they were seeing on tape throughout the week on what kind of schemes you were getting based on the distance, and being in tune to what kind of techniques you need to play based on where the sticks are. Our guys did a great job in preparation that week of practice, especially on our 3rd down day. So I wasn't surprised that they had the amount of success they did just with the way they had worked throughout the week, specifically on 3rd downs.
Coach, you spoke during the end of training camp that I think you didn't have your complete install in, and Coach B's kind of said that around like week 3, week 4, you kind of start to really kind of understand what you have. Do you feel like your guys are fully installed now with what you're trying to do, especially after what happened on Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, no, we're not there as far as the full install yet. We are getting closer. I will say that, and as a staff, I think we have a better understanding on which direction we need to take. And so I'm excited for this week's practice. This team will only get better as the year goes. So You know, we can build off of. Everybody hates to lose, right? Like, you know, I was sick all weekend, and sick because, you know, you see how hard the guys work and how hard they listen to you and buy into what you're preaching. So obviously you want them to see the fruits of their labor, but we're close, and I think everybody believes that because it's on tape, and so I'm just excited for, you know, where this thing can go as the season progresses.
When you're reviewing that tape, are you know, a game like this with 20 points but 500 yards given up, is that a bonus that you took the ball away and you forced some punts, or is that a, hey, we still gave up 500 yards? You know,
it's a combination of both. Like, you know, some of the plays they made were competitive plays, right? So like, you're on scholarship too. That, I mean, number 5 he's a guy. Like, that's a guy. And the quarterback is a really good player. You know, we have played some really good offenses through these first 4 weeks. I mean, you guys, you know, Virginia was the same way. That's a good offense. You know, so part of it is you know, taking into account, you know, how are you getting stops? You know what I mean? You know, how I thought we handled the adversity a lot better Friday night. You know, when we got hit with the big play, it wasn't the backbreaker of the series. You know, when it was a sudden change situation, you know, we had a 3 and out. You know, those are things that you gain through experience and mature defensively, and so those are the things I'm saying we can build on. Not necessarily. It's not necessarily all scheme related, right? It's more so, you know, drawn from past experiences to help better equip you for the future. And you know, we have not handled adversity well early in the year, and I thought we did that Friday night. So yeah, obviously the yardage and all that, all the stats, you know, at the end of the game you look at them, but during the course of the game it didn't feel that way. You know, it felt like we were 8 of 10 on third downs and not giving up, you know, a lot of points, and so that just goes to show you that the guys fought. You know what I mean? Even though they were getting some yards, they fought throughout the series, and you know, we're trying to get the ball back to the offense.
Not handling
Last question.
Not handling adversity well. Like, how do you guide those guys to kind of flip that switch, you know, especially early on?
Moving from the box down to the field, you know, that I think, you know, just to be around the guys when stuff isn't going right, and just to give them because they should be confident. Like you gain confidence through preparation, and these guys prepare the right way. They really do. There's no complaint from me in that aspect at all. So I just think, you know, as much as we can do as a staff to instill confidence in them because they deserve to be confident, is gonna pay dividends moving forward.